the Springboks have sent another powerful message to the rest of the rugby world, and this latest performance may have answered several of the biggest questions surrounding Rassie Erasmus' squad ahead of the crucial stages of the nation's championship. In front of a passionate home crowd at Loftusversfeld, South Africa produced an entertaining 42-28 victory over Scotland in a match filled with explosive attacking rugby, physical dominance, and several individual performances that could reshape the selection debate moving forward. While the scoreline tells one story, the real headlines belong to the players who stepped up when the pressure was at its highest, with Handre Pollard delivering a performance that reminded everyone exactly why he remains one of the most trusted fly-halves in world rugby. After facing criticism following an inconsistent finish to his domestic season, many question whether the experienced playmaker still deserved the famous green and gold number 10 jersey. Those doubts disappeared over the course of 80 minutes as Pollard controlled the game with intelligence, calmness, and remarkable accuracy. His tactical kicking consistently pinned Scotland deep inside their own territory, his aerial skills frustrated the visitors throughout the contest, and his leadership ensured the Springboks remained composed whenever Scotland threatened a comeback. Even after briefly leaving the field following an injury interruption, he returned almost immediately and continued directing traffic with the confidence of a seasoned champion. It was a complete display that earned him the Man of the Match award and served as a timely reminder that experience remains one of South Africa's greatest weapons. Alongside him, Ambrose Papier enjoyed a dream return to international rugby after waiting years for another opportunity. Making his first Test appearance since 2018, the scrum half looked as though he had never been away. His electric pace, sharp decision-making, and fearless attacking instincts immediately lifted the Springbok attack. The highlight came when he sliced through the Scottish defence with dazzling footwork, leaving defenders grasping at thin air before racing over for a brilliant try that brought the Loftus crowd to its feet. His kicking game was equally impressive, giving South Africa valuable territory throughout the contest, and his overall performance will certainly give the coaching staff plenty to think about when selecting future squads. In midfield, Damian Willemse once again proved why he is regarded as one of the most versatile players in international rugby. Having shifted from full-back to inside centre after his outstanding performance against England, many wondered whether he could produce another influential display. The answer was emphatically yes. Willemse repeatedly crossed the game line despite heavy defensive traffic, made excellent defensive reads against dangerous opponents, and showed superb awareness with ball in hand. His beautifully worked try, finished after an intelligent switch move with Grant Williams, showcased not only his athletic ability but also the growing chemistry within the Springbok backline. Meanwhile, Captain Jesse Kriel continued his impressive leadership with another composed display. Although he missed a few tackles, South Africa's defensive system absorbed the pressure effectively, allowing Kriel to make his biggest impact in attack. His perfectly timed supporting line off Handre Pollard resulted in a superb try that effectively sealed the victory and demonstrated the outstanding understanding developing between the experienced midfield partnership. At fullback, Afleel Fassie enjoyed a solid return to international action. While one kicking mistake briefly handed Scotland momentum, he responded well by remaining dependable under the high ball and contributing positively throughout the match. On the wings, Edwill van der Merwe adapted impressively despite spending much of the afternoon operating on the opposite side of the field, showing confidence in aerial contests even though attacking opportunities were limited. Ethan Hooker, returning slightly ahead of schedule after injury concerns, also impressed before unfortunately leaving the match following a failed head injury assessment. Prior to that setback, he displayed excellent defensive commitment, earned an important breakdown penalty, and played a key role in creating one of South Africa's scoring opportunities. In the forward pack, Evan Roos once again demonstrated his trademark aggression and physicality before injury forced him from the field before halftime. His well-taken try rewarded his relentless work around the park and highlighted the energy he continues to bring whenever he pulls on the Springbok jersey. However, perhaps the biggest story among the forwards belonged to the tireless Pieter-Steph du Toit, whose relentless work rate once again reminded rugby fans why he remains one of the most influential players in the world game. Whether carrying into heavy traffic, making crucial defensive tackles, slowing Scottish attacks at the breakdown, or providing vital support in open play, Du Toit delivered another mammoth performance that gradually wore down the visitors and helped South Africa establish control during the decisive moments of the match. His ability to maintain such extraordinary intensity from the opening whistle until the closing stages continues to separate him from almost every other forward in international rugby. Scotland certainly had moments of quality and refused to back down, crossing for several well-worked tries and asking genuine questions of the Springbok defence, but every time momentum threatened to shift, South Africa responded with composure, power, and clinical execution. That resilience may ultimately be the most encouraging aspect for Rassie Erasmus, whose side continues to combine tactical intelligence with devastating physicality while steadily building valuable squad depth across multiple positions. Performances like those from Handre Pollard, Ambroise Papier, Damian Willemse, Jesse Creel, and the ever-reliable Pieter-Steph du Toit suggest the Springboks are not simply winning matches, they are developing confidence, competition, and momentum at exactly the right time. If this display is any indication of what lies ahead, South Africa has every reason to believe it can continue challenging for major honours, and the rest of the rugby world has been put firmly on notice that the Springboks remain one of the most dangerous and complete teams in international rugby.
The Springboks have once again reminded the rugby world why they remain one of the most feared teams in international rugby, delivering an entertaining 42-28 victory over Scotland at Loftus Versfeld in a match that combined power, precision, resilience, and moments of individual brilliance. While the final score confirmed another important win for Rassie Erasmus' side, the bigger story unfolded through the performances of several players who seized their opportunities and made compelling statements ahead of the next stage of the nation's championship. Every test match offers players a chance to strengthen their place in the squad, but few grasped that opportunity more convincingly than Handre Pollard, whose display answered every question that had been asked in the build-up to the game. Coming into the match, the experienced fly-half faced criticism after an inconsistent finish to his domestic campaign with the Bulls. Some supporters wondered whether South Africa should be looking toward younger options, while others questioned if Pollard could still control a test match against quality opposition. By the final whistle, those doubts had been replaced by admiration. From the opening minutes, Pollard looked completely in command. His tactical kicking repeatedly forced Scotland to play from deep inside their own half, his towering contestable kicks allowed the Springboks to dominate the aerial battle, and his decision-making consistently placed teammates in the best possible positions. Every pass, every kick, and every attacking decision reflected the calm confidence of a player who has spent years performing on rugby's biggest stages. Even after briefly leaving the field following an injury interruption, Pollard returned without hesitation and immediately resumed directing the attack as though nothing had happened. His leadership, communication, and ability to control the rhythm of the contest proved invaluable, and being named man of the match felt like a fitting reward for one of his finest performances in recent memory. Yet Pollard was far from the only Springbok making headlines. Scrum half Ambroise Papier enjoyed a fairy-tale return to international rugby after waiting patiently for another opportunity since 2018. Rather than showing signs of rust after such a long absence, he played with remarkable confidence and energy from the very first whistle. His service from the base was sharp, his kicking game kept Scotland under constant pressure, and his running threat forced defenders to hesitate whenever he touched the ball. The defining moment arrived when Papier spotted the smallest gap in Scotland's defensive line before accelerating through it with breathtaking pace. As both Fagerson brothers scrambled desperately to stop him, the scrum half danced past them with brilliant footwork before racing clear to score a sensational try that sent the Loftus crowd into celebration. It was a moment that perfectly captured his confidence and reminded everyone why he has long been regarded as one of South Africa's most exciting attacking scrum halves. In midfield, Damian Willemse once again demonstrated why versatility has become one of his greatest strengths. Fresh from starring at fullback against England, he shifted into the number 12 jersey and barely looked out of place. Time and again, Willemse carried hard into heavy traffic, consistently winning the gain line and providing quick ball for the forwards and backs around him. Defensively, he handled the dangerous Sione Tuipulotu impressively, making intelligent reads and limiting Scotland's opportunities through the middle. His attacking instincts were rewarded with a brilliantly worked try after a clever switch play involving Grant Williams, showcasing not only his speed and balance but also the growing chemistry developing throughout the Springbok backline. Captain Jesse Creel continued to lead by example despite a few missed tackles that were comfortably absorbed by South Africa's well-organized defensive system. His attacking awareness remained outstanding, and his perfectly timed support line onto Handre Pollard's pass produced a superb try that effectively extinguished Scotland's hopes of mounting a late comeback. The understanding between Creel and Pollard continues to evolve into one of the Springboks' most dependable attacking combinations. Elsewhere in the backline, Afalil Fassi enjoyed a steady return to Test rugby, showing composure under the high ball while making several important defensive contributions despite one unfortunate kicking mistake that briefly gifted Scotland an opportunity. Edwill van der Merwe, despite wearing the number 14 jersey, spent much of the afternoon operating on the opposite wing and adapted impressively to the tactical demands placed upon him. Although opportunities with ball in hand were limited, he competed strongly in aerial contests and defended confidently throughout. Ethan Hooker also made a promising return after injury concerns, immediately making his presence felt by winning an early breakdown penalty, producing a dangerous line break during one attacking movement, and showing courage in defense before an unsuccessful head injury assessment unfortunately ended his afternoon prematurely. The forward pack also produced several memorable displays, despite dealing with injury setbacks. Evan Roos continued his reputation as one of South Africa's most physical ball carriers, crashing over for a deserved try after excellent work near the goal line. His aggressive carrying, relentless tackling, and high work rate provided valuable momentum before injury forced him from the contest before halftime. However, perhaps no forward better represented the relentless identity of this Springbok team than the outstanding Pieter-Steph du Toit. Once again, the world-class flanker delivered a performance built on extraordinary work rate and uncompromising physicality. Whether smashing into defensive collisions, slowing Scotland's attacking ball at the breakdown, carrying powerfully into contact, or simply appearing wherever his teammates needed support, du Toit seemed to influence almost every important moment of the contest. His relentless engine allowed South Africa to maintain pressure deep into the second half, gradually draining the energy from an ambitious Scottish side that refused to surrender despite facing wave after wave of Springbok attacks.